Messim Tamiri's autobiography. I am just going to narrate in this audio my life from the beginning, how it started, and where I'm at now. That's where I'll end. So my life started with me being created in heaven together with the King Jesus Christ. So King Jesus Christ was created first as an angel and a God, and I was created second as an angel. And my life was really beautiful. We used to play, me and King Jesus Christ together, and have fun together, and play around in heaven, and talk to our Father. And we used to compare our skin colors, saying, I'm brown. And would say he was bright because he was made of precious stones. And we loved each other very, very much. And we still do love each other even up to now. And I used to sing a lot for Jehovah and with Jehovah sometimes when we were in the meadow, and he would songs to write, and I'd write them down, and it was so beautiful, and I'd look forward to singing them in the church in heaven. And I would sing the songs in the church in heaven, and it was so beautiful. People just loved it. And people were not sure of my color. They used to ask King Jesus Christ when I was older what my color was. And because I used to wear wigs sometimes, and my hair used to look very, very long. And I also used to have long hair those days. And I did become white at some point. And we did have brothers and sisters from my family in heaven as well. The current family that now, we saved them in heaven, but they were not my brothers and sisters then. They were like just relations, brothers in heaven and sisters in heaven, like we're angels together, and we are happy together. And life was really good. At the very beginning, everybody was there, but in the other heaven, I don't remember seeing everybody in the other heaven I went to when I was older. So from there, we had lots of time, nice time in heaven, except that yeah, we used to have so much fun, me and King Jesus Christ. And we got married, and when we got married, our life was so terrific. It was really beautiful. We had children together, and we were very happy together. But somebody tried to destroy our marriage, but didn't work. A man tried to sleep with me, but didn't work, and we just separated for a bit, and then we got back together with the king. He forgave me, and then we went on to have children, and I was pregnant with him. So we went on to have more children after they accepted the pregnancy, and we had a girl, and we had more children, in heaven. We had some more boys, and I think another girl. We had with 8 children in heaven, me and King Jesus Christ. It was really beautiful. And unfortunately, some people just accuse me of being a witch. Maybe because there was another woman before me who had been maybe married to King Jesus Christ. They had some relationship, and she was pregnant. She died when she was pregnant, and adopted the child. And this child was Chamomile, and she was Chamomile, and we I loved her very much, because I really didn't want her mother to die, but King Jesus Christ proposed to me after her mother had died, and he married me, and he made me a queen. So I was a queen in heaven, and King Jesus Christ was the king. And afterwards, when I was accused of witchcraft, I was banned. My body was banned, and King Jesus Christ managed to take my body before it was fully bent into, so that people could bury it, and they buried it. And then he resurrected us afterwards from their graves. So I can still see the grave now. Yes, so he came and said, Mercy. And I wasn't the only one he resurrected, though. He resurrected some others, and then he called my name as well, called me Mercy. And then I said, Yes, my Lord. And he said, Come out. And he let me out of the grave. So I came out of the grave. And after some time, we lived in heaven. It was not easy. Chamomile was also happy. I think she was almost white then. And then she had a nice time and had nice friends there in heaven as well. But the way she died was also not so nice. She was executed because of the beliefs. They said she shouldn't have been pregnant, because she died when she was pregnant as well. So she died, and she didn't leave a baby. She died with her baby. And then she was executed, and she came back as a white ghost to me, just asking, Mom, why did you let me down? And I didn't really want to let her down, because as a queen, I told people not to have anything to do with my daughter, to leave her alone, because she was a princess. But they refused, some of them, to leave her alone, and they cut her head off. And it was a bad thing, and so she came back as a ghost to me. She was just coming back and asking me why I'd let her down. And then, you know what? After some time, when everything was all right again, we left heaven, angels and saints, and we left for earth. So we came to earth, and we left for America. We decided to build America because it was still on its foundations. So we built it. We built most of it, and we then that's when we lost Angeles and called the area Los Angeles, because that's one of the areas we were building. We're building Los Angeles. You know, that city in America is still there. That's one of the cities we built. And then we called the place a miracle, meaning America. Now America's American, meaning a miracle. So that's why we called it America, because we were saying it's a miracle. You know, like children, they say America, miracle. a miracle. So people loved it so much, and we still do love it. We love it very, very much. And it was very disappointing to lose some angels. People were working with, because it's like a building collapsed that they were working on, and then it was really disastrous. We lost a number of angels. I'm not sure of the number now, but it was a big number of angels that we lost then. And yeah, there were many of us who had come from heaven to earth, more than 200 people, more than 500 people, and we did have some locals to help us. Some people were already on earth. They helped us as well. Then after that, we Father Jehovah and King Jesus Christ and I, we started living at a ranch that our Father bought for us, and he built a church there as well. And there were people who would attend to the church. We would attend it with our Father Jehovah. It was really beautiful having a church at the ranch, and our Father was rich and prosperous, so he had everything that we ever needed to use or make use of. And we also had aeroplanes and horses, and we would also work on the land, like grow crops on the land. But most of the time, with servants as well, but most of the time we we would worship him. And he taught me to drive aeroplanes. He taught me to be a pilot, because we had some jets and an aeroplane. I think there were 3 of them. And so he later said he was now tired and he wanted to go and rest in heaven. So we put him in a coffin, and we had something like a funeral for him, and there was big light, and then he just disappeared. So we knew he had gone to rest, home to rest. So he left us, our Father left us, and he didn't want it to spread. That's why he didn't spread then. He wanted it to be just kept to the family and to those who were around, like the servants. So we didn't spread it then, but a little later, I think much later, much later, that's when we started talking about it with other people. But at that time, he didn't want it to spread when he went back to rest in heaven. So King Jesus Christ and I were left with the riches and the wealth, mainly the wealth. So and the riches, they were both there. So we were supposed to share them between ourselves according to wishes. We were supposed to share them between ourselves according to our Father's wishes. So we shared their property, their wealth, and their riches. And the ranch, we decided to sell the ranch, but King Jesus Christ wanted to stay there for a little longer. He wanted me to stay with him, but I couldn't stay with him. I wanted to have children and a man to marry, because he was like my brother on earth. So he couldn't have the same situation as we had in heaven, and I couldn't also stay with him like that, because I didn't want to stay with him like that. But I regret it now, because I hate him so much, but he forgave me after some time, I'm sure. Then yes, after some time we did reconcile, because I left and I went to live with on my own in a flat, and yeah, and I tried having boyfriends whom I could marry, who could marry me, but it was not easy. We were not getting along with most of the men. And I finally found another man, and it was Prince Andrew, but those days was not Prince Andrew. I think he's the one who was called Angus in this film that I once watched, the Pen in Self, yeah. Um, uh, was that the angel in Pennsylvania, the American city. So that film, I think that's where it shows a bit about our life with Angus and me, and I was Annie then, and we were happy together. We're doing very well together, and we got 4 children. And then my husband died of a car accident, and King Jesus Christ came when he was about to die, but he continued to die, and King Jesus Christ stayed with us, and he he managed to help me with the children, because they were not easy without their dad around, but at least they obeyed King Jesus Christ. And we adopted 4 more children, and I had another child. And then um, I had other boyfriends as well afterwards, and one of them was Nefat, and that's when I was white. Then I decided to become brown again, and my other part was white, remained white. So it became 2 people, one white, one brown. And then we opened an orphanage, and the orphanage was a very nice orphanage. And we started looking for the orphans that we could find. It was growing big and big. The need was so big those days, because children were just suffering, like from traumatic issues, loss of their parents, and some of them drug issues. So we we could take some street kids as well because of drug issues from the streets. And yeah, it was really growing very, very big, and started getting donations as well, because we're running out of the money that Jehovah had left for us, because I had spent some, with in the flats that I was living in and renting. And that one, it was a house that I had bought, but then we built the orphanage as well, and we ended up needing some more money, so we started getting donations. So yes, people started donating to the orphanage. I can't remember the area now. I think it was in Mississippi. I'm no longer sure now where we were living together. And then after that, we decided, our children grew and got married, and we decided to, not our children, but those 8, most of them got married, the older ones. The older children got married, and And then we met other people like Martin Luther King, and yeah, and it was nice, those stories about. And there was the time of slavery as well. That was before that. I was also there. I used to help during the slavery time as an angel, just to help with the people who were being transported in the ships, so that they may survive and get some of them to heaven, and depending on what we thought was best for them in the transport, because the transportations were not very healthy for them, so we would offload some of the people and take some of them back to heaven. Right, so it was wonderful, even though they were coming from Africa. Yes, they were coming from Africa. So we um that is my life up to America. Then I came to UK. I also went for pilot training before King Jesus Christ rejoined me, when we were still together, King Jesus Christ and Jehovah. I did go for some pilot training, and so I could drive aeroplanes besides what I had been given by Jehovah. So I could drive aeroplanes, and it was not always easy sailing. The times where the plane crashed. So the plane crash that I remember, I wasn't driving. Somebody else was driving, another pilot, but I had to help him. And some of the people survived, but we lost some people as well. Some people died. But angels did come at the scene, so they did take some people to heaven. So it was like that, and then we decided, we had seen enough and had done much good in America, so we decided to move to the United Kingdom. So surprisingly enough, when King Jesus Christ and I moved to the United Kingdom, we met our Father Jehovah. It was really a happy moment, because a very happy moment, very happy days, yes, when we met our Father again, living with the royals in the south of England. So our father decided to. Our father was living in the royals, and we were given by the Queen Elizabeth. We were given a place to live in the south as well. Me and King Jesus Christ, our own castle in the south where we could live. I'm not sure what the name of the castle was anymore, but yeah, one of those like Windsor Castle and the like. So we were given one like that, me and King Jesus Christ to live in. And then after that, yeah, I was working as a nurse, and I was working as a pediatric nurse, but I also did some surgeries as well. Like I was also a surgeon, but we did a bit of building as well. But most of the buildings were done already here, the United Kingdom, before the World War One. So it was okay. It was nice. We did a little bit of building, and I was working as a nurse most of the time. So it was really beautiful with these children, but it was a bit sad, to see some children die, but most of them did survive. They were to they used to survive, most of them. Some would die of cancer or different leukemia, different diseases, whooping cough and things like that, but we managed to get them through, most of them. So it was really beautiful, and my life in UK was very, very nice. And I was like a princess again, even though I wasn't a queen here at that time. But from my researches, I did find out that I was Queen Eleanor in France and in UK. So yes, from my researches, it does show that that's where I was queen on earth. So right, praise the Lord for all his goodness. Then I decided to go to France, and King Jesus Christ wanted to go to Israel. So I told him hopefully I would meet him in Israel some other time. So I left for France. And in France, it was really very nice because my mother and father were king and queen. I had new parents, mother and father. So my mother and father were queen and king and queen. So they were very nice to me. They were really, really very nice to me, my mother and father. Then they they helped me with my family because I was persecuted during the Jewish persecution because I was Jewish and I was French as well. So as I was being persecuted, it was really horrible. During the Jewish Holocaust, it was really terrible because our clothes would be taken out and would be beaten. It wasn't nice. So this German soldier decided to rescue me, and he married me. So I got married to this man, a German soldier, and he was my husband, and he was rich and influential because I think he was a colonel, and he accommodated me, and we managed to buy a palace in France because a chateau, because my parents also had money. So we bought our own chateau. He was very rich and influential. He used to buy me all the jewelry that I needed, the jewelry I needed. He used to buy me all the jewelry that I needed, and I was happy with him. But then we started having disagreements because he wanted to inherit my mother's inheritance after she had died. But I used to let him know that was only for me, not for him as well, because my mother just wanted me to inherit a chateau and all her. But there were other children. There were other. I had a brother and a sister. So there were other two children. So, but and I also had my other two children as well that I had with this German man. And he did become French as well, so it was German and French. So so we had a fight, and it was all over in the newspapers. But and when I was in a helicopter sometime traveling, because I was a princess in France, somebody shot at our helicopter, and so it was amazing that we survived because there are some people who were protecting us who managed to rescue us. Then my father died, and then my mother died as well. After some time, my mother got sick. She had cancer, so she died after some time, after she had lived with us and rescued me from my marriage. But she just took me back home to live with her. But then and then my husband was shot dead by some of his enemies. So it was really tragic. And when my mother died, I was supposed to become Queen of France. So when I was about to become Queen of France, I decided I wanted to go to Israel to meet King Jesus Christ in Israel, because he was in Israel by that time. So I went to Israel, and in Israel we had some nice times. It was very nice. It was so beautiful. Like, Israel is really beautiful, with stony houses, and just, it was so peaceful, just so peaceful. And Mother Mary was there as well. So I used to visit Mother Mary at where she lived with King Jesus Christ. So I was seeking Jesus Christ and Mother Mary. So King Jesus Christ would go preaching, and Mother Mary would remain with me and would do the house chores and talk after finishing the house chores. And King Jesus Christ would come back, he would talk, and then uh, he would see me off to go back to our home, because it was some distance where I was living with Martha and Lazarus. And then it was really nice in Israel, and King Jesus Christ was crucified. And after he was crucified, I after King Jesus Christ was crucified, I was crucified as well. Not on the same day though, after some time, because I told people that he was my brother, and they said, no, you can't be his sister. So they crucified me. So I was crucified afterwards, and then I was taken back to heaven. King Jesus Christ helped me with the cross, and then I was taken back to heaven. But I was crying on the cross before I went to heaven. I was just crying until I died. Then I was taken up from the cross to heaven, back to heaven. So after that, I went to I went to I was told I had to go to Zimbabwe, and there was war in Zimbabwe, so I had to go back to Zimbabwe. But I was also born. These are two lives, so they're not easy to describe, because there was my life as an angel, and my life as a human being, because I was put in the Mtamiri family. I was so happy to be put in the Mtamiri family in Zimbabwe, in my father Gabriel Dick Francis's family, Francis Mtamiri's family. So I was put in his family, and my mother was praying for many children. So she was given all the children she had asked for. And then she was also given me. And yes, we were happy together. My father was a police officer, and my mother was a nursery teacher. So we were very happy together. She was my teacher at the church nursery. So we were very, very happy there. And yeah, she was an excellent teacher. I enjoyed her teaching, and I wanted to teach me for primary school as well, but she refused. So when we were doing nursery, I was a genius, so that's why they used to call me. They used to say she's a genius. So yes, and I fell from a bunk bed the day that King Jesus Christ said my angelic services were ending. So as an angel, I was a police officer in Zimbabwe, and I managed to meet Queen Elizabeth. I think it's Queen Elizabeth II, because she shook my hands, and she congratulated me. She congratulated me for um, for my good service in the police force. And then and then I had to fight in the war, because we were recruited in heaven as well to fight the Gukurahundi, the war in Zimbabwe. That was where there between the British and the Zimbabweans. So we were recruited in heaven, and I just didn't know how to hold a gun, but they told us you'll be taught how to hold guns. So we were using the aeroplanes, the jets, the jets. We were using the jets, the helicopters to do the war, and we were neutral because we were helping both sides. Those who were wounded would just heal them, and those who were dead would bury them. So we were neutral, me and other people from heaven who had been recruited. And as a child in Zimbabwe, I was a child then. As a child, like I told you, my angelic duties were coming to an end. So they ended, and King Jesus Christ, before they ended, told me what time they were going to end. They were going to end just before midnight in the night, near the night, in the evening, just before midnight. So I fell, and later, that's the time they ended, I died. And I went back to heaven, and in heaven it was so beautiful. I made new friends, some other children who were there in heaven, and we were fighting over a toy with one of the children, and the toy was given to it was taken by King Jesus Christ. Then we had to go to Jehovah for disciplinary action. So Jehovah just read to us some words from the Bible about faith. I think it was Hebrews 11. So he read to us Hebrews 11, and King Jesus Christ decided to tell us what it meant, that we had to have faith that we would have more toys, and have faith in all that we do, so that we may please God. So we just apologize to each other, and the other one was told that she should share with everybody, because she was saying her mother is the one who had given her a toy. So we were given more toys after that to play with, all of us. So yeah, it was very nice. When Jehovah was reading the Bible, and the words were just going into the air, and you would see them in the air, and they had a huge Bible, very, very big Bible. And it was beautiful, and it was like the sun, where it was the sun shining. It was just like the sun, just so bright and colorful. And we went back to play in our play area. It was very beautiful. The area, it was just so nice. We're just running about and playing with our toys. It was so nice. So yeah, that was it. And until I became a human, So I became a human being, and started living with my family, the Mtamiri family, my sisters and brothers, and it was very beautiful. I went to a primary school where it was all blacks. All of us were there were black or brown. So it was a very nice school. I loved it so much, and we had ties with Bulgaria and Russia. Those are the ones who used to support the school, and of course Britain used to supported it before it was before the independence of the country. So after my primary school, I was doing very well at primary school, and I became the deputy head girl. And then after that, I went to Roosevelt Girls High School, where I uh, I didn't become a prefect because I left before my opportunity to become a prefect. So I left, and before my opportunity to become a prefect. So I left for Ilsa Independent College. But it was very nice at Roosevelt Girls High School because I became a boarder, and my father was still alive, but my mother had died. I was 13 years old when I was at Roosevelt Girls High School, when I just started. And I was telling you that I loved my French so much, and I wanted to be the best French student there was, and the best student in the class. And she was so sick, on a sick bed, when I was telling her that. And she died after about a month after that, after we had talked. So she died in a hospital, and it was very sad and painful to see my mother die and pass away. And she just told me none of my children will suffer. And because I was saying, if you die, mom will suffer. So she said none of my children will suffer. So she was just getting ready for her death, because she was also a princess, and her relatives would tell her she was ready to die. So they told her she was about to die, and so she did bid us all farewell. Uh, and she died in a hospital in Gweru. She was taken to Gweru by my father, and then she died in a hospital there because my father was working as a chef, in a senior officer in Gweru. Is the one who was in charge of the whole region. So that's when she died. And then afterwards, I went to Ilsa Independent College after my O levels, and after I got my O level results, I went to study at Ilsa Independent College, the Institute of Languages, Secretarials and Academics. So yes, it was very, very different there, because everyone was independent. Everyone would do whatever they wanted to do. Everyone seemed to be selfish. Most people seemed to be selfish and spoiled, because they were children of rich people. Their parents were rich. I was being sponsored, so their parents were rich, and they had cars as well. And it was so different. That's where I went for my A levels. Then after that, I went to Hillside Teachers College, and at Hillside Teachers College, that's where I met my husband now, who is just going to get an award as a professor at it's one of the universities here in England. So that's where I met him, and he was campaigning to be the president at the school. And so he proposed marriage to me, and I thought this was new. I hadn't met anybody who starts by proposing marriage. So that's what he started by doing, and saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I thought, this guy seems to be so. So I said, I'll pray about it. Then I went and I prayed about it. Then I just had him in a dream, saying that that's the man for me. So so it was saying Shumba in the dream that Shumba is the one. So I didn't know Shumba is the one. What? Then when I woke up, I thought, oh yeah, I was praying about my marriage. So Shumba is the one for my marriage. He's the husband for me. So yes, that's how it happened. And then we lived together and we went to teach in at his rural home in Berengwa. So at Vube Secondary School. So we're teaching there. It was very nice, and we had some maids, one at a time sometimes, and the other time we had two. So it was very, very nice. They were very obedient, most of our maids. And we I had a struggle with one of my maids because when I had gone to the University of Zimbabwe, because I left the school where I was teaching to go on study leave at the University of Zimbabwe, and she wanted to take my husband, and I decided to become pregnant. So I lost the pregnancy at this university. I was taken to a hospital, and the pregnancy was they couldn't find anything anymore because I had been given tablets, but I didn't want to lose the pregnancy. I wanted to keep it, but I had had a sexually transmitted disease, and then they decided, the nurse decided to give me something strong enough to heal me. But I didn't think to take away my baby, so it took away my baby, and that was erythromycin. It was very strong for me and took away my baby. So after that, that's when I went to okay, I went back to the University of Zimbabwe. That's where I was. That's where I lost my baby, at the University of Zimbabwe, and I was studying dual honors in French and Portuguese at first. Then I left it, but when I left it, I was told I had been doing very well. I'd done very well in the exams because I'd got a 2-1 for the exams, but for the Portuguese exams, but I'd already quit Portuguese when the chairperson told me that. So I was now studying BA honors in French only. And then I left, and then I I I went to before I left, I went to teach at Prestige College part time, and it was very nice. It was a school for rich people as well because they broke off from Spaces College. So I went to Prestige College, which had broken off from Spaces College, and I taught there for a short time because Professor to be Nefat didn't like it. Didn't like it for me to just work for a cheap salary because other teachers were getting paid loads of money, and I was being paid cheaply because I was still studying as well. Even though I'd already become a teacher, I was still studying to get a degree in French. So I left that school and I went to Chitungwiza, where I was teaching at Seke High 3, and the teachers decided to go on a go slow, a go slow strike. So it was it was really strange, getting to a school and suddenly the teachers are on a go slow. So all the teachers in the whole nation were on a go slow at that time. So I decided to resign. So I resigned from teaching, and then I became a businesswoman for a short time. Then I came here to UK after I had sold some goods to add to the money that NEFAD had sent us. It sent us enough for airfare, but Dr. NEFAD, Professor to be Shumba, sent us some money for airfare, me and Kamomal, so my daughter Kamomal. So yeah, we used the money for airfare to buy tickets in the first class of Air Zimbabwe. and I needed some more money, to clear my debts there in Zimbabwe. So I did that. I managed to do that from the money from my business. And then my part-time business. And then we came to UK, Kamoma and it was so beautiful getting to Gatwick Airport, and everything was so different. Gatwick Airport was so different from the Harare International Airport, and the roads were so different, and the most amazing, the houses in UK. I just thought, oh, I'm in another world. It looked so different from Zimbabwe, what I had been used to, and 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 the UK I used to know. So it was so different, and I was very happy. So thanks be to King Jesus Christ. I'm here now. The other stories, I divorced Dr. Nefat Shumba, who's becoming professor now. Professor Nefat Shumba, maybe today or tomorrow, I don't know, or tomorrow or the day after, he will be becoming professor. So yes, I went to I came to UK, but I was forced to sleep with a man. That's how we broke up with Dr. Nefa Shumba. I was forced to sleep with a man who was renting my father's house, because I left my father's house to go to Hatfield. So this man forced himself to sleep with me because I left a bag in his car, and he when I went to get the bag, that's when he forced me to sleep with him in a guest house that was for the American embassy. Used to work for the American embassy. So he forced me to sleep with him in a guest house in Hillside, in Harare, Hillside, Harare, not the Hillside I went to for teaching, but the one in Harare, because the other one is in Bulawayo. So this one is in Harare. And yeah, so when I told Nefat about it for the second time, he was angry after I come back from Spain. He didn't like it, and he just said, "What is this? Thank you, Miss, you've set me free." So we went to our pastor's in Wolverhampton, and we had some counseling, and everything went on well, as we had thought they would, because the pastor just said you should divorce, you should separate, and your wife will be like estranged. But later, since I told God that I would divorce him at the scene, I told God I would divorce him. So I had to divorce him in the end. And my sister also encouraged me to divorce him. So I divorced him and one of my sisters. And then I did divorce him. And I've come back from France, because I'd been sent, a number of us had been sent from Sheffield Hallam University, from the French department, had been sent to France for work placement. So that's where I was, and I died in France that time, and I went back to heaven, and it was really heaven. It was really beautiful in heaven, because I married King Jesus Christ in heaven. And yeah, we did go to my father's house to see it again, and everything was perfect. It was so wonderful. Then we really consummated our marriage. We had children. We had Prince Jesus Christ 1, 2, and 3. So it was beautiful. That is in the sky. And then then I went back to France. I was taken back to France by King Jesus Christ, where my body was, and part of my body was thrown away by angels. So I got a new body. I was resurrected, and all the Christians were resurrected on that day, the 6th of August 2009. So everything went on well. Everything went on well. Then I came to UK again by a train, an underground train through the channel, and we're in a bus. The bus was put in a train, so it came through the underground channel, the English channel. So we came back, and I divorced Nefat afterwards because they told me he no longer loved me, Professor Shumba. Because he told me he no longer loved me, Professor to be. Yes, I'm sure he's counting the seconds now and the minutes, minutes and the seconds. All right, so yes, after I divorced him, it was not easy for my daughter Kamoma, but yes, she's been working very hard and she's doing very well now. She's a reporter, a regulations reporter. So everything has been going on well, thanks to all the people who have been praying with us, Sean Karen and Joel Austin and Joyce Meyer and Prince Joseph Prince and all the people, everybody else who's been praying with us, our Pastor Joe Willis and Pastor Lois Willis. Yes, and everybody else, they've been so terrific. My friends from church, they've been so terrific, and my friends from France, they helped me so much when I needed accommodation. So praise be to King Jesus Christ, Joseph and Francis. So, and the pastor also, Pastor Oswell. So it was it has been very helpful, and Pastor Dave Gilpin and Pastor Jane Gilpin and their son Ryan. They were also very helpful, and yes, and Pastor Blois and Pastor Colin Blois, and Pastor Paul Edwards. Oh, they've been also beautiful, and Pastor Mike from Coventry, and Pastor Paul from Coventry. They were also supportive, and Pastor Kapofu. So nice. Thank you all of you. Thank you for your support. May God bless you, and may He keep you strong and healthy, and may He continue to do good in your life and show you favor. And may you also read Isaiah 54. May God bless you. Bye for now. Messim Tamiri's autobiography. I am just going to narrate in this audio my life from the beginning, how it started, and where I'm at now. That's where I'll end. So my life started with me being created in heaven together with the King Jesus Christ. So King Jesus Christ was created first as an angel and a God, and I was created second as an angel. And my life was really beautiful. We used to play, me and King Jesus Christ, together and have fun together and play around in heaven. and talk to our Father. And we used to compare our skin colors, saying, I'm brown. And would say he was bright because he was made of precious stones. And we loved each other very, very much. And we still do love each other even up to now. And I used to sing a lot for Jehovah and with Jehovah sometimes when we were in the meadow